I love Red vs. Blue. I was never around for the release of the seasons of RVB due to me being born too late, but coming to the show as a newcomer after the release of RVB is an amazing experience. For one, I didn't have to wait for new episodes. I could watch it all at once. When I first watched it, season 19, Restoration, wasn't out yet. I had been inspired to watch it by a video on the series by Dr. Skipper. I really recommend you go watch his channel. I then proceeded to have hours of fun and joy watching all the way up to season 18, where I wanted to blow my fucking brains out when I was done with it. But besides that, I had an amazing time. Then, in the summer of 2024, Restoration came out, and I watched that too, feeling that it was a good ending for such a Goliath of a series. And now recently, I rewatched the whole thing, except for 18, fuck that shit. I'm not here to talk about Rooster Teeth. Everyone watching this knows that Garbage Company's dead in the fucking dumpster with its corpse being burned. I'm instead here to explain my love for its product, but before I continue, let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm JT Awesome. You might know me from my gaming content, my iMovie trailers, my reaction content, or my meme content, how little of that there is. This is my first type of content this way, so I'd appreciate if you dropped a like and sub, please. I need it! But anyways, let's get back on track. In order for me to explain why I love RVB, I need to tell you what it is. Red vs. Blue is a machinima-based web series made by Rooster Teeth in 2003. It was literally made by a handful of people in the middle of a living room. They recorded using the game Halo, which was made by Bungie, and then they proceeded to record on every other Halo game made as the seasons progressed, except ODST. Just thought I should clarify that. Also, Halo 4 through Infinite is made by 343 Industries, now Halo Studios. Instead of Bungie, who made Halo 1 through Halo Reach. Now, in order for a more comprehensive guide to this video essay, I'm going to leave chapters that include story, characters, and their design, soundtrack, extra content, and my final thoughts. To start off with, we are going to go into the story. Now, the story of Red vs. Blue is a very vast and long, and there are already hundreds of videos going over it in extreme detail, so here's just the basics. It spans multiple arcs, that being the Blood Gulch Chronicles, the Recollection Era, the Chorus Era, the Shizno Paradox, and then RVB Zero and Restoration. The show begins by following a group of troopers who live in a canyon fighting one another, one side being red and the other blue. As we progress through the seasons of 1 through 5, we get to know the characters very well and their unique personalities and traits. Each character had a specific color assigned to them, such as Church being cobalt or Sarge being standard red. As we get to the end of the Blood Gulch Chronicles, we are introduced to a few more characters such as Sister and Doc, and we see how they interact with the main cast and come up with wacky things. It is pretty much a sitcom with guns and offensive topics. But season 5 ended, so did the sitcom type of RVB 2. We then go into the Recollection Era, which comprises of seasons 6 through 10, or it is just known as a freelancer arc. This is where the action really picks up as our main cast of lovable idiots are whisked into a larger world. These seasons really make up the chunk of world building in RVB, and it is so awesome, man. I mean, when I first saw the freelancers, I thought that was the coolest shit ever, and it was so different from the main cast. For one, they were actually trained soldiers. They were way more serious, and they actually did shit. Some of the early freelancers we got in the Blood Gulch era was Texas and Wyoming. We were also introduced to the Omega AI in those seasons, which really comes into play for these later seasons. In Season 6, we are introduced to my favorite character of all time in the show, that being motherfucking Agent Washington. I love this guy so much, dude. Washington has quite an arc in the show, but for now, when he first meets the Reds and Blues, he's a serious, actually trained soldier. He thinks of them as nothing but marginally useful idiots.
Toss that grenade! That was the worst throw ever. Of all time.
Not my fault. Someone put a wall in my way.
But as the seasons progress, we learn about Project Freelancer, which was meant to pair agents with AI to win the war against the Covenant, blah 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 blah. We meet more freelancers that had connections to the ones we already knew. My second favorite character in the series is Carolina. She fucking rocks. For the record, I have a ton of characters tied for second place, so yeah. She's first introduced in Season 9, which was part of the prequel season, and Heart Church is stuck in a memory unit and needs to find text. It's complicated, go watch it. But in Season 10, we finished off with finding the director and winning. But then we get to my favorite arc, the course here. It starts off with the Red versus Blues making strength on a planet where they find themselves in the middle of a civil war. You have to unite the two sides into one army to fight the mercenaries Felix and Locust, which then ends up with them winning and having a cliffhanger ending. In the last episode of the arc, we see the Reds and Blues ready for one last fight, and we never see it. Thank you, Rooster Teeth. It was an open-ended ending, allowing for whatever you wanted to happen. This is where the arc ends. Next came Season 14, which is an anthology series containing stories that happen all throughout the different seasons, and then we come up with Season 15 and the Shizno Paradox. For the record, Season 14 is okay. It's not bad, it's not good. It's just a bunch of, random episodes. It's fun. Go watch. Season 15's arc itself is okay at best. Season 15 follows a report looking for the Reds and Blues to ask about crimes they didn't commit and try to show the world their innocence. And then in 16, I'll be real, it's really fucking confusing. But Tucker and Sister get a lot of character development, and it's all about gods and stuff, and it's really not on track for something that would come out of Halo, But Season 17, my personal favorite season of the arc, we get to see a lot of resolution happen for the entire series in Season 17, as well as Seasons 15 and 16. One thing I do like, though, is Washington's and Carolina's relationship. It plays well, and I'm a sucker for it. The series could have ended here, but it didn't. It went on to 18, everyone knows it's trash, and then ended on Season 19. This season, we think, concludes the series as a whole and ends with the age-old question, why are we here? So there you have it, a really shitty recap of one of the greatest web series of all time. Now let's move on to the characters. This section will be somewhat short due to me covering a lot in the previous section, but nevertheless, this is here. The main cast consists of the Red Team, Sarge, Griff, Simmons, Donut, and Lopez, as well as the Blue Team, Church, Tucker, Tex, which is also a freelancer, Caboose, and Sheila the Tank. As the seasons progress, so does the cast, including freelancers such as Wyoming, Washington, York, North, South, CT, Florida, and Maine, as well as their AIs, such as Omega, Gamma, Beta, which is also Tex, Alpha, which is Church, Epsilon, who is also Church, Theta, Eta, and Iota. I love all the characters, but there are a few I personally don't like. I really don't like the gods from Season 16. They are just annoying. But other than that, that's it. I like a lot of the characters. The main cast is also augmented by their specific colors, and this allows them to even more let us see their differences in their personalities, and the colors. The simple colors allow the complex characters to even more diversify from the newer characters, which get more complex designs as the seasons progresses. All in all, I just love the characters. The freelancers, the AIs, the mercenaries, the leaders, and all the rest are just so endearing. Short segment, so yay! For the soundtrack, there's not much to be said here. If you have watched RVB before, you know how amazing that soundtrack is. If you've been paying attention, I've been playing it in the background of this video, so you know how awesome it is. In the early seasons, it wasn't really anything too special, but as we progress forward, the music, in my opinion, peaks in 9 and 10. It is a rock/rap/pop type of sound, and it is fucking beautiful. It really is a testament to Jeff Williams, who designed the soundtrack for Season 9 and 10, and Tricato, who designed it for all the rest of the seasons. Honestly, the amount of songs for those two seasons is crazy, that being 9 and 10. As even if it isn't in the actual seasons of those, there's more on Spotify, and it's just crazy how much there is. I just adore these pieces, and a lot of it I keep saved on my Spotify list. Overall, you have to hear it to love it. So go goddamn hear it! There's also a ton of extra content besides the main series that you can watch. There are also mini-series, specials, PSAs, and more. It is all just a bunch of lovable messes that you can watch for hours on end. I personally know that I sunk a couple hours into watching the thing, so yeah, it's worth it if you're bored and you want even more content to sloop up into your goddamn brain. There are also DVDs for each season, but I really recommend you just pirate it using the Internet Archive to watch all the seasons due to Rooster Teeth having put a paywall on it. But good news for you, on my channel I have all the seasons and all the miniseries that you could want to watch. Go watch them. It's hours upon hours of fun. It will take you a long time to get through. There are also versions on YouTube, but they were lower quality, so yeah, I don't really see anyone talk about these, so I thought I might just touch on it. Also, besides there being extra content video form, there's also books, toys, shirts, everything, you know. Before Rooster Teeth went under, it was amazing. It was really good. But I just thought I might talk about it. Before we go, I would just like to give a shout out to the people behind the show, among those being Bernie Burns, Matt Holm, Miles Luna, and all the cast and production crew. These guys really brought the worlds together and made it so that what we see is what we enjoy today. I would also like to specifically mention Monty Ohm, who is the lead animation director for RVB from Season 6 to Season 10. He made some amazing work and is the reason we have the great fight scenes we do today. It really is unfortunate that he passed away before his time, but his work will live on forever and be an inspiration to all that watch it. In the end, this series had a great run of 21 years. It had its ups and downs, and it paved the way for many ideas and content we see today. In a way, if you watch all the episodes in their condensed forms, like how Rooster Teeth grouped the episodes of one season together, it all becomes a movie, sort of like the MCU. If you do watch it, that's how I recommend you watch it in its entirety, where it feels like you're watching movies. If you want, I have the whole series in that form, mini-series and all, on my YouTube page, so feel free to check that out. It really is an experience that sticks with you. When I rewatched it to make this video, I could not help but laugh and be eternally grateful for Rooster Teeth's work over the years. Hell, I made a custom wallpaper for my phone for it. Even though at the core they are a bad company, now they are good with the company back under Bernie Burns. They provided such great content, including some later seasons which in many eyes are horrible. So to cap this off, I'm gonna rate the arcs. First, we got the chorus arc. I love the characters so much, and it is just a great send-off if you wanted to stop there. And in second place, we have the Recollection Era and Blood Gulch Chronicles. These are both amazing arcs, but just not as good as Chorus, in my opinion. We're both equally well made. The fight scenes in Recollection far outweigh anything else in the series, but I just prefer Chorus's story over these two. The humor in the Blood Gulch is mostly the best than the rest of the series, but it gets a little stale as time goes on, in my opinion. Finally, we have the Shiznell Paradox. The only good season in this one, in my opinion, was Season 17. That was because the story was somewhat decent compared to the other two seasons in this arc, and was somewhat fun to watch. It was also a good ending, if they didn't make 19. Season 15 was kind of boring, and 16 I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. And I don't think Rooster Teeth did either. Seasons 14, 18, and 19 all go on last because they're all accessible. Not 18, I cannot express how much I hate this fucking shit. And are all somewhat fun in their ways, not 18. So yeah, there you go. My love for RVB just laid out plain for you. If you haven't watched it, I really recommend you do, all the way through 19. Don't watch 18, trust me, you're not missing anything. But that's it. Like I said before, this is my first type of video essay, so any criticism would be appreciated, both constructive and hate. And as the video ends, ponder one of life's greatest mysteries. Do you ever wonder why we're here?